Good morning and happy birthday. Welcome to the first day of the rest of your life. Because every day is your birthday if you choose to celebrate life. I think I might have got that one right for the first time in ages. Happy birthday. How are you doing today? And yes, we do have some real people's birthdays today, of course, as we always do. Interestingly, we have two today, which is relevant to the topic of the day, which is I can't, I don't, and I'm not. These are dangerous words to find yourself saying good morning, and we can choose to say them in a different way. So I'm going to talk about that in a little bit, but before we talk about that and how to overcome them and how to oh, hello dog. And then we're going to talk about don't, not and no as well, particularly in the area of children, and then we're going to talk about those automated habitual responses that we mentioned yesterday briefly: want, reject, snooze and observe. I'm not sure if those are exactly words, but those are the ones I made up because they work for me and help me to remember them. But first of all, let's say happy birthdays to Rich Hawkins, Lisa Johnson, Hazel Hardy and Dave Kitchen. Now Rich and Lisa are both well-known entrepreneurs who make a fair bit of money from Amazon and e-commerce stuff, and Lisa from teaching people coaching things. And they're both these people who do these like big launches of selling their how to do products. So they've clearly not got this problem with I can't or I don't or I'm not, because they've clearly achieved very successfully in those ways. Good morning, Jeff. Thanks for watching. And so it was interesting that they came on the birthday list today while I'm talking about this particular subject. So anyway, let's wish them happy birthday. We'll do that by blowing out that's one candle. What's the one thing we're going to get done today? For me, I'm going to go, I've got a Rebellious Business Network this morning. If you want to come and join the Rebellious Business Network this morning, it's free, it's fun. They're going to be talking about copywriting. Come and join us. Let me know and I'll give you a link, or search for Rebellious Business Network on Facebook. So blow out the candle, breathe in, take a breath of 5 in through your nose. I started before I started counting. Put that hand on your heart. Hold while you're holding your breath, light the candles on your left hand, and then blow out the candles on your left hand. Happy birthday, everybody. Including you, the viewer, in this case Jeff, but whoever else is viewing in the hashtag replay later on, give me a hashtag replay. Happy birthday to you, because every day is your birthday if you choose to celebrate life. And why wouldn't you want to celebrate life? You are here, you are alive, you woke up this morning, and you can choose to enjoy your life. You can choose how you're going to feel today. And that's a big part of the topic we're going to do today. I also take that one thing you're going to get done and take it one step further by what is the one thing you've got done, or what's the one thing you've been focusing on the last hour or 24 hours. What's one thing that's made you smile over the last 24 hours, and what's the other one? Oh, one thing are you grateful for in the last 24 hours? So that's all forms part of my Create Happy process, which you can download if you say happy in the comments below. That'd be fantastic. Right, so back on to the topic of the day now. I can't, I don't, and I'm not. These are often automated responses. I can't do that thing. I don't do that type of stuff. I'm not capable of that thing. These are all sort of obviously negative connotations that are limiting you and holding you back. And the question you have to ask yourself a lot of the time is, am I choosing that? Is that something I want to say? So rather than saying I can't do that, say I can't do that thing yet. Or possibly, I can't do that thing, I choose not to do that thing, depending on what the thing is. I don't do that. I don't do that yet. I choose not to do that. Have a think about that. And I'm not a runner. I'm not a piano player. I don't know. I'm not a marketer, for example. I'm not a marketer yet. I'm not a piano player yet. I'm not a runner yet. These are all things that you can choose to do later, or grow your comfort zone out and into if you choose to do them, if you want to do them. And a lot of the time you'll say these things automatically because that's the way society has programmed you. The people around you, who's made these rules, is something that Jo Howarth brought up in her Happiness Club thing yesterday, and then touched on again today. She was talking about shoulds today. We're going to talk about shoulds in a minute. But she was saying, who's made those rules up? Who is it that's controlling your rules? Who is it that's in control of your life? Who is the one that made up the rules as to what you can and can't do, what you're good at and what you're not good at, what you love and what you don't love? Is it really you, or is it your parents, your teachers, your friends, your society, the people around you, the experiences you've had in your life? Maybe you tried something once and you weren't very good at it, but that doesn't necessarily mean you couldn't be excellent at it if you just gave it a bit more time, you put a bit more effort into it. Did you love it? Did you do it because you loved it and then you didn't do very well, and somebody said, oh, well, you were just rubbish at that, weren't you? You clearly haven't got any skills. And then you went, oh, apparently I've got no skills at that. Let's take football. We just won the football last night, England, didn't we? Just maybe you started kicking the ball around as a child, and you weren't very good at it, and you couldn't kick it very straight. And your dad said, "Oh, well, you're clearly not very good at football. It's like you haven't got a natural talent at it." But that doesn't necessarily mean that you wouldn't have put the effort in and got good at it. Maybe you just had a bad day. Maybe you hadn't learned the skills. Maybe you were too young to start at that particular point, and you hadn't quite got the coordination going. But if your dad hadn't said, oh, well, you clearly can't do football, then you instill it in your brain saying, oh, I can't play football, I'm not a footballer, I don't do football, and then it becomes this automatic reel that's playing inside your back of your mind saying, I can't, I don't, this is not me, this is not what I do, this is not, I can't do it. So even if you really, really want to do something, probably piano playing is probably a better example of this. Yes, probably is actually, because I wanted to play the piano as a child. I'm not sure if I wanted to play the piano or whether somebody else wanted me to play, but I'm not sure really. But I do want to play the piano now. I want to learn how to play the piano, but now. But I was taking lessons as a child, and I remember getting really frustrated with scales. I wasn't enjoying it. It wasn't fun to learn how to play the piano, and so I stopped, and I never learned how to play the piano as a child. And I wish I'd stuck at it. I wish I maybe found a different teacher. No offence to, forget her name. Mrs. Odell, who was teaching me piano back then. No offence, but I'm guessing there was probably reasons, like we talked about the other day about doing white belt karate moves. You have to do the scales, you have to learn how to do these things. But it wasn't fun for me. I wanted to do something fun. I wanted to learn how to play a tune that sounded fun. And so I got bored, and I wanted to go and do something else. And I thought, well, I obviously haven't got the talent to play the piano. But I didn't stick at it long enough. I didn't maybe try different ways of learning. I didn't put in the effort myself. And now I really want to learn it, but now I'm old, and I find it hard to retrain myself. I did learn how to do touch typing, for example. That's an interesting thing. I did that through chat rooms. So a lot of times when we were in chat rooms, you're reading the chat up on the screen in front of you, and you're trying to catch up and keep up with the conversation, and so you're touch typing. I just learned to touch type by accident because I was having fun interacting with the people on the screen, and I didn't realise that I was teaching myself how to touch type. And so it became fun. And so maybe there's some skill that you've got that's fun, that you just haven't put the effort in because it wasn't fun when you first tried it, or somebody said you weren't very good at it the first time you tried it. But every master was once a disaster. Every winner was once a beginner. You all start off with something, and maybe you're not very good at it to start with, but you put the effort in over time and you become better and better and better. But the reason you don't often is because somebody else told you weren't good enough, or you didn't have the talent. Somebody else told you the rules. Somebody else gave you the rules and turned you into it. I can't, I don't, I'm not, that kind of stuff. And you can override that. You can choose to do that. You can say, I'm not this yet, or I'm choosing not to do that. If you want to choose not to do it, you can do that as well. When it comes to children, quite a lot of time, just talk about that. Don't do that. You're not this, or no. Avoiding don't, not, and no. In your life, you can avoid these don't, not, and no's as well. But also when you're talking to children as well. Don't slam the door. The child can't go, what? It's like you're not giving them a positive instruction. And this works in relationships as well, by the way, the same way. Don't slam the door. Yeah, but what do you want me to do? Close the door gently. Oh, now I've got a positive instruction that I can use, I can work on. Whereas don't slam the door gives me, you're thinking slam the door, slam the door, and slam the door. You're almost giving the instruction to slam the door. So there's just a way of thinking about these languages and just using these things. And then the next thing is should. I should do this, which usually comes from somebody saying, somebody else saying you should do this, you should think like this, you should act like this, and you're shoulding all over. Somebody else is shoulding all over yourself. Yes, and it does. It's supposed to sound like what it sounds like. Somebody else is shoulding all over you, and you can choose. You can just change. So I always say to people, change that should to can choose to, and then take back the power. Take back the power onto yourself and say, I'm going to choose to do this thing or choose not to do this thing. I'm going to put the effort in to learn how to do this thing, or I'm not going to do this thing. If you don't enjoy it and you don't want to do it, don't do it. Find somebody else to do it. Find somebody else whose zone of genius it is to do the thing, and outsource it to them, because they probably love to do it. My friend, I forget her name again, the dream job coach, probably come back to me eventually, always says, or I misquote her slightly and say, if you're not in your dream job, then you are stealing it from somebody else, because it's probably somebody else's dream job. And why are you sitting there in this somebody else's dream job if you're not loving it? Give it to somebody else. Allow somebody else to have their dream job while you go and find your dream job. And that's not necessarily in job world. This is in entrepreneurial worlds as well. So in your own environment, are you doing what you love? And if you're not doing what you love, go and find what you love. This isn't quite how this talk was meant to go. I was going to talk about cars. I'm going to say about how being on. I suppose the thing is, all of these language things inside our heads, this shoulds, these rules that other people put inside our heads, it's like your brain is on autopilot. You've got these automated reactions. Oh, I don't do that. Oh, that's not me. I'm not good at that. That kind of stuff, which somebody else has programmed into you, and you're on cruise control. You're on autopilot. But if you're paying attention to it, remember I always talk about ACE. Pay attention. So imagine you're in a car and you've got your cruise control on. A lot of people don't like cruise control, but if you did have cruise control, so the car is driving at set speed, 70 miles an hour down the motorway in a straight line, obviously you're steering it. If you've got a Tesla, maybe it's steering for you, but you know what I mean. Driving around, your feet are off the pedals, and you're looking up ahead, you're looking at the road ahead, and suddenly you see that the traffic has stopped, or there's a roundabout coming up, or there's whatever. There's some blockage in the road. Now, if you don't take control, if you don't manually override your car, you're going to smash into that obstruction up ahead of you. So you have to take control. You have to put your foot on the brake to avoid that situation that's coming up in front of you. And that's what needs to do in brain. You have to say, oh, my brain is taking control automatically, and there's something coming up, and I want to take control. I'm going to manually override and change that language, to I can't do this yet, or I don't want to do this now, or I'm not that type of person yet, or I'm not choosing to do this, I want to choose to do something else. Change the language inside your head, and if you want to get somebody else to help you do it, go ahead and do that. Just to catch you when you say things like that. And then you can manually override, change the direction, make some choices, put effort in over time to rewire those thoughts and those patterns, those brief beliefs, and then start rewiring to become new patterns and new beliefs that you can enjoy and going forward. Because you don't want somebody else driving your car, do you? No. Imagine now that you haven't got it on cruise control, but somebody else is driving the car and you're sitting in the passenger seat, so now you can't take control, and there's a blockage up ahead and they're not paying attention, and you're going, please stop, but they're in control, they're controlling your life. Smash! You have no control over it at all. Or even if you're just driving around town, you know there's a shortcut and they're not listening to you, and you go, come on, go this way, it's a shortcut. And they go, oh, I'm not listening to you because I've done this. This is the way I've always gone all my life. This is the thing I've always done. I'm only going to go this way because this is all I want to do. In fact, when I was living in Los Angeles, there was a guy, and he drove me to work one day, and he made the most circuitous route. He went all the way along the coast and then all the way up to work instead of just cutting the corner off. And I was like, what? Why are you going this long way around? And he said, oh, because I don't know how to get there directly. So I went back to my old house because I knew how to get there from my old house. And so I drove to my old house, and then I drove to your work from my old house because I knew how to get there. And I didn't know how to go across country to get to your offices. And I was like, right, okay. But I knew how to go there because I've been there on the bus. So I knew what the bus route was to get to my work. Actually, I think I walked it a few times actually. But anyway, the point was that he went this route because that's the route he knew, going all the way along this way and then all the way up this way, because he knew the route from his old house, and he knew his route to his old house. So he knew, I know how to get to my old house, and I know how to get my whole house to that office, so I'll go that route instead of just going across the corner and saving myself a bit of time, because it's just what he was familiar with, what he knew, what he was used to, and he was driving the car, so he was in charge. I didn't have control. But I could have taken control. I have run out of time again, so I haven't got onto these automated habitual habits again. I'm going to quickly cover them though, briefly. It was, I want that thing. So if something happens and you go, I want that thing, I'm going to reject that thing, or I'm going to snooze, just ignore it basically. And then the other option, which is what mindfulness and meditation gives you, is to observe that thing. And I thought this was particularly interesting on the way over here. And again, I'll touch on this tomorrow if I remember. Bees. When bees are flying around you in a garden, a lot of people will reject it. I like to observe and watch the bee flying around, and that's the mindfulness exercise there, a little bit of meditation kind of thing going on there. So anyway, that's all from me for today. Hope that was an interesting lesson and useful lesson. Go out and love the world. I love you. Enjoy your birthday, and I will speak to you tomorrow. Hopefully we're talking about the automated habitual responses now. Bye for now.